Imagine a 14-year-old kid waking up and the first thing that they do is they grab their phone. Before they get out of bed, they scroll through Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and they respond to several different notifications. As the day continues, they keep doom scrolling, comparing themselves to influencers, and consuming content that just seems endless. Before the day ends, they've usually spent multiple hours on social media scrolling and they haven't even realized it. Social media is a very big thing in today's society, especially with the younger generation. And while it can educate and entertain, it can also have negative effects on mental health, self-esteem, sleep, and safety. It's important to understand the impact that it has on everybody's lives. As a member of the generation that didn't have social media growing up and has seen the rise of technology, I have seen the benefits and the dangers of social media. I've also done my research and found reports from healthcare professionals, psychologists, government agencies. For my speech, I'm going to talk about the effects of social media on mental health, sleep, self-esteem, and safety. I'm also going to explain why restricted access and parental involvement is so important, and I'm also going to actually speak about some of the arguments that we hear in favor of unrestricted access. So in order to understand why social media should be restricted, we have to understand some of the damage that it does to our teenagers. Many teenagers are exposed to unrealistic body standards and lifestyles. They compare themselves to what they see online, and they have constant pressure to get approval through likes and comments. The constant need for approval and pressure can cause serious negative effects to their emotional and mental well-being. And according to research from the American Psychological Association, it has shown that excessive social media can cause anxiety and depression. Many teens also use their phones way later into the night, even though they're supposed to be sleeping, which I know some of us adults can relate to. At first, it starts off as de-stressing from the day, watching videos on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and then the next time it's 12 a.m. and you realize that you've spent so many hours scrolling. The blue light that actually comes from our phones can make it harder for us to sleep, and when teens don't get enough sleep, it can affect their focus, for their performance in school, and can cause mood swings. According to the U.S. Surgeon General, excessive social media use can interfere with healthy sleep habits. The American Psychological Association also reports that social media frequently exposes teens to unrealistic body standards. Young teenagers are constantly shown edited or unrealistic bodies from influencers who either use filters, edit their body, or even use specific poses to make their body look perfect. Teens see this and immediately start comparing themselves to those influencers and start asking themselves, why don't I look that way? And it goes into them not being content with their bodies and their lives. Many teens are also still developing their decision-making skills, and with that comes the fact that they might not know who to trust, and they could give personal information to people that don't have the best intentions. According to an international journal entry written on the National Institutes of Health, children who have unrestricted access to social media can be exposed to online grooming and inappropriate sexual content. Regardless of these concerns, some people argue that social media shouldn't be restricted. Some of these arguments include that they should stay connected, that social media helps them stay connected to friends and family, and although that argument is valid, teens can stay connected to friends and family with having restricted social media. They also argue that social media can be used for educational purposes, which again is not wrong, but they can still be restricted to those certain websites that have that educational value instead of going off onto things that they shouldn't be, on websites they shouldn't be. At the end of the day, one can never be too sure who's on the other side of the screen, right? Just imagine a world where teenagers can be just young and not worry about anything. They don't have to compare themselves. They can develop more real-world connections. They could create better sleep patterns, and they could feel more confident in themselves. Us as parents, teachers, healthcare providers, and more, we have the responsibility for caring for our children and advocating for stronger protections when it comes to social media. So today I spoke a little bit about why social media should be restricted, because it can affect mental health, sleep, self-esteem, and safety. I also spoke about the arguments that people have when it comes to unrestricted social media. Regardless, social media is going to be a thing that is continuing to be a part of our lives, and it's only going to grow bigger. Whether we're willing to take the necessary steps in order to protect our youth from the harmful effects is on us. Thank you.